guys, it's Malibu. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about sex with trans women. I'm a trans woman, obviously, and I can't believe I've never talked about this on my channel, actually. I've definitely spoken about it like within other topics, but I haven't made a video specifically dedicated to this, so here we are today. But yeah, let's talk about sex. I should say I'm talking about pre-op trans women here. I am pre-op, I haven't had the operation yet. I am hoping to have the surgery soon and then we'll be able to talk about it from the other side, but obviously I can only talk about it from my point of view. Kitties! Also, just a quick reminder, I am still less than 1 month post-op since my rhinoplasty, so if I'm looking a bit big and swollen, which I am, or I sound a bit congested, that is why. I think it's probably pretty understandable that a lot of trans women are going to be uncomfortable when it comes to certain things to do with sex. And that's likely to differ between each trans woman as well. Some people are going to have no inhibitions when it comes to it and just be completely free with their bodies. Others might find certain things a bit difficult. Obviously, gender dysphoria is a very real thing. Some trans women may not want to use their bits and bobs at all. Others may want to use it. Like I said, it's going to be different for everyone. It's just the kind of thing you need to know before going into that situation. I think there's 3 important things that need to be discussed before having sex with a trans woman. The first one is obvious. Make sure that they know you're trans. This one is really the responsibility of the trans woman. I would say 90% of the time when it gets to that point, you're already going to have discussed that. So both of you are going to know where you stand on that. However, it can be difficult, like if you meet on a night out in a club, certain conversations might not have been had. You might think you've had it and then realise that you haven't. And so what I've done in the past, sometimes when it gets to that point, if I haven't been sure, I would just literally just say something like, you do know that I'm trans, right? And most of the time they're like, yeah. And it's like, okay, cool, relief. But equally, sometimes they're like, oh no, I didn't realise that. Usually they don't care. Sometimes they do. Fine. You just have to get it out there so there's no awkwardness when you're getting down and dirty. Everybody has to know what's going on. And it's like usually those conversations will just happen naturally. Like for example, if somebody asked me like, do I get on with my mum? I might say like, oh, it was a little bit difficult growing up with my transition and stuff. And then obviously later on you know that they know because you've talked about that. Just little things like that. It's not like you have to be like, hi, I'm trans. But the good thing about modern technology and stuff and dating apps, trans people are going to put that on their profiles, aren't they? So as someone who's looking for a trans person, you're going to be able to find them easily and there's going to be no confusion. The second thing is talking about what they like in bed. If you're a guy getting to know a trans woman intimately, I'm not saying rush into this conversation, but if it's getting to that point, it's important to know what both of you like going into it. With trans women specifically, hormones can do certain things to your body. They might have sensitive areas and areas that you might not expect. They might like to do things that you've never done before. So it's good to know those things so that everybody can have a fabulous time. And the third thing is just discussing what you don't like. So equally, for everybody to have a good experience, both parties need to know if there are boundaries that either one of you doesn't want to cross. Like I say, some people might have issues with certain parts of their body being touched or being used in a specific way. I'm trying not to be too graphic here. And there might be certain things that you might expect that actually the trans girl doesn't want to do at all. So just making sure that everybody's on the same page and you know all 3 of those things before going into it. I would say they are the most important things. But there's other little things that also might be good to think about. For example, trans women might not like for their, you know what, to be referred to as a penis, dick, cock, whatever you want to say. And obviously for somebody who's pre-op, that can be an easy mistake to make, especially as a man. So I don't know, just ask them what they like to call it maybe. You don't have to, and it's not that big of a deal, I wouldn't say. But if you want to go the extra mile to make sure that they are happy and comfortable, it's a nice thing to do. Some people aren't going to care about things like that, others might, that's all I'm saying. I think another thing to think about as a guy initiating trans women is that trans women don't want to feel like they're being fetishized. Fetishized, that's a hard word to say. I think to an extent, we get that that is sometimes going to be the case with men. I mean, I can't speak for others, but I get that, you know, people can't help what they're attracted to. And for some guys, it might be like a novelty thing to have sex with a trans woman. But even if that is the case, you don't want to make the trans woman feel like that. We just want it to feel normal and not like it's just something you're ticking off your bucket list. Do you know what I mean? And I'm definitely not saying hookups are bad either, but it's just making sure that you're showing that respect to the trans woman's identity as well as having fun. Obviously, protection and safety goes without saying, no matter who you are. And the only other thing that I think is important to think about, which kind of goes along with things that we might like or dislike, but the function of things down there may not work the same as it once did before hormones. Things might not be able to go all the way up, if you catch my drift. And also when reaching orgasm, there's quite often no explosion. Most people don't have erectile dysfunction, I don't think, but it can happen. It's something to be aware of. I think that's it really. Now go find yourself a beautiful trans woman and have all the fun. If you did enjoy this video, please do give it a like and subscribe if you want to. I talk about all things trans, so if that sounds interesting, hit that button. If you want to see even more of me, I also just started a Patreon page. You can find the link in the description. And I'm also on TikTok, Instagram, all of those other places. Okay guys, thank you for watching. I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye.